Shabbat Shalom. My name is Uriel Romano. I am working here for a couple of months with Rabbi Manis Cohen at Hillcrest Jewish Center. And today we're in Parashat Mishpatim, the Parsha of the rules of all the mitzvot for the ideal society, of how we should treat each other and how we should work as a good union of people. And I want to share with you something beautiful that I learned from this parasha. The beginning is like this. Be'ele mishpatim asher tasim lifnehem. These are the rules that you shall set before them. God tells Moses after the giving of the Ten Commandments in last parasha, in the parasha of Yitro, we are giving a lot of laws that how we should respect each other and how we should treat each other. And we have a special commentator of the Torah that is called Nachmanides, Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman, that at the beginning of his introduction to the book of Genesis, he says something special. He says that we should not read the Torah as any book, because behind each word, behind each sentence, there's a special meaning. Because the real meaning and the deep meanings in the Torah is not the literal stories or the literal ideas that appear over there, but there's something behind that. In every letter, in every word, in every form of the letters, there's a hidden meanings that the rabbis and the sages should look for, to get the deeper understanding of God and His Torah. And we have a special rabbis in the Middle Ages that is called the Baal HaTurim. And the Baal HaTurim gets this idea for the Ramban, and in every place of the Torah and in every word, he tries to find not what's the plain meaning of the text means, but the hidden one. And here in Parashat Mishpatim, just at the beginning of the parasha, in the word that gives the name to this parasha, he found something beautiful that I want to share with you. The word is Mishpatim. And he says that Mishpatim is what is called in Hebrew notaricon, or in English, acronym. He says that behind this word, Mishpatim, there's a hidden meaning. He says it like this. Adayan metzaveh sheyaseh pshara terem yaseh mishpat. Look at this. It will appear over here, so it will be more easy for you. Mishpatim. The hey of Mishpatim is Adayan. The mem in Mishpatim is Metzaveh. The shin in Mishpatim is Sheyaseh. The fei is Pshara. The tet is Terem. The yud is Yaseh. And the last mem is Mishpat. What this whole sentence is about? In English, the judge is obligated to make a settlement before trial. Once again, the judge is obligated, he's commanded to make a settlement, a conciliation between the parts before a trial. Look at it, this is amazing. We are talking about Mishpatim, we are talking about trials. And what the Baal HaTurim found over here, that there's a hidden meaning behind the word trial. Because the true judge, before he gets into a trial, and all the things that a trial involves, he should try to make a settlement, to make a conciliation between the parts, so they do not have to get to a trial that will take them many years and many tears and many strengths for them. And the word in Hebrew for conciliation, that will appear here once again, is pshara. A pshara is the middle point. And there's a fabulous discussion in the Talmud, in Tractate Sanhedrin. The discussion is as follows. We have Moses in one hand, and we have Aaron, his brother, in the other hand. And the leitmotif of Moses is Din Ikov et Asela. The law will penetrate the rock. Because the most important thing for Moses, our teacher, was the truth, was the law, was justice. But he has a brother. And his brother has another leitmotif. Is Oev Shalom and Rodef Shalom. He who loves peace and pursues for peace. Because the main goal of Aaron wasn't every time that the truth prevails, but peace. And this is very strange, maybe, and you could hear something wrong with this idea. But I really think they have a point over here. How many times in our family, with our friends, with our spouse, in the name of truth, in the names of justice, and getting the good idea and the true idea, we get into a fight? How many times thinking I'm right, he or she is wrong? How many times and how many moments we spend fighting maybe for the truth, but we know that finally that truth, either one will be, it doesn't make anything better. How many times we should say, okay, it doesn't matter who is right in this conflict. How many times we spend in foolish arguments of who is true or who is right. For Moses, the most important thing was to find the truth. And that's the main goal of every trial, of every mishpat. Who is wrong and who is right. But in those trials, we have someone that wins 100% and someone that loses 100%. One is right and one is wrong. And maybe, and most times this happens, it makes a conflict between the two parts and between the society. But that's the idea of Moses. That is a good idea. But we have another one, his brother, Aaron, that he says, even though justice is very important, even though that finding the truth is very important, if we can arrange the things and the conflict before that, before we get to the trial, the peace will come into the parts. Because in a settlement, in a reconciliation, nobody loses 100% and nobody wins 100%. There's a middle point, the middle path. So this is what I wanted to show you in this Shabbat. This very special idea that if we study the Torah in the plain meaning, in the like the word Mishpatim, we will go to a trial immediately. But if we read the Torah not as a newspaper, but as a love letter, and we try to find the meaning of every word, and every letter, and every color, and every fragrance, we will find out that according to our rabbis, before we reach to the trial, we should try to do a pshara. We should try to do a settlement. Because our rabbi thinks, and that's the final halacha in this conflict of opinions in the Talmud, in Turkic Sanhedrin, that peace comes first from truth. Peace is preferable from being right or being wrong. Shabbat Shalom.